Okay, people, thank you for coming into the room, okay? Thank you for coming into my room. I want you to hear my 2 cents, okay? My name is Mychaeltodd, and here we go. This morning, I was listening to Facebook, and there's a bishop by the name of Timothy Clarke out of Columbus, Ohio. He's a bishop of a big church in Columbus called First Church, and he really got me together on something that he was talking about. He wasn't preaching, he has these conversations, you know, right out of his office, right on Facebook. And I think he normally does them on Tuesday, but I caught him today, or it could have been a repeat, I don't know, but anyway, I caught this. And he was talking about people having preparations and having patterns in their life to make them successful. And what he was saying that in order to be successful, people need to, you need to prepare for it. And you need to have a certain kind of pattern etched or scratched into your life that you follow and that you do. And there's traits and there's marks and there's characteristics of winners. Not winners of the world sense, but winners of the biblical sense. And this conversation is not just for people, God believers. It's for, if you're atheist, you can get something from this also. It's a message for anybody who wants to listen about how to be a winner. You have to have, you have to be diligent in your work. You have to be very diligent, and you have to be diligent in your craft. You can't sleep on your gifts. You can't expect that, things are going to happen just by you waking up, going through life, not preparing. You have to prepare for it. At least 10 minutes out of the day, you need to prepare for it. Even if you have to get like a piece of paper and write down 10 things you want to do in life, that's what I do. I have a board that you can't see, but it's in front of me. And I put down 10 different things that I want to do in my life. And out of those 10 things that I want to do in my life, some of them are really big and some of them are really extravagant. But it's really funny. The extravagant things and the big things I pretty much have already done. It's the little things that I have not done that I really want to complete. And they're more personal, which means it takes preparation and some thoughts in order to really get that together, because it's dealing with family. So you can't just say, oh, I want to do this right now with family. I want to do that with family. When there's situations in your life where you really need to check somebody or get somebody together, you just can't jump into it and do it any kind of way you want to. You have to prepare for it. And so there's preparation that's involved, and then there's a certain kind of pattern that has to work for you, that that works for you, that you're able to take care of that situation. And the lack of preparation and not being diligent in your work, I mean, you're sabotaging yourself. People that do prepare and are diligent, you'll stand before kings and queens, and you'll stand before important people that's able to do some things. So don't sleep on your craft and your goals and your gifts, and be very diligent about the things that you really want to do in life. And that's the message I want to bring to you today that I got from Timothy Clarke. Moving along, CardiB is truly being a big deal these days. She went to Legos, a supermarket, and she bought provisions worth millions of dollars for a motherless baby shelter in I guess it would be Nigeria. Yeah, Nigeria. And she also spent some of the time with the kids. I think that's a wonderful thing, because CardiB stays in a whole lot of mess. I mean, she stays on the internet too much arguing with bloggers, which seems to get her in a bunch of lawsuits and gets herself in trouble. And once she's able to chill out and cool out, I wish CardiB would, when she starts making these donations and stuff in the future and wanting to be a philanthropist, do it on the low. Don't let everybody know what you're doing. It's just like, if I decide I want to go out and pay somebody's bill, I'm not going to go online and say, I went out and paid so-and-so's bill. I went out and I fixed their house up for free. When you're a philanthropist, sometimes you just keep your mouth shut. You just do it. God knows that you did it. You know that you did it. You don't have to really televise it and tell everybody, I did this and I did that, because that same night when she did all that, she also went to a strip club and she was giving the strippers money. It was all you do is go online and just see it. I was like, my God, really? You know, I know the girl came about as a strip club, but she went in there and she made it rain on the strippers. And she also went into the community where the kids, you know, there's a lot of poor people in Lagos, and she spent a lot of money on the kids that were ripping and running in the street. I mean, she just dished out money, but and it was all filmed. I think it's a good thing that, you know, she is giving back and she's doing some good things, because so much bad has happened in her life, you know, and she's going through so much. But just do it on the low. You don't have to let everybody know what you're doing. You know you did it. That's all that matters. Another situation that happened today. I was talking to my oldest brother, Edwin, and my brother, he was in the Navy, and he served over there in the Gulf War, in the Desert Storm. And while he was there, he started writing a book called Pen from the Desert. Pen from the Desert. And there was a guy there that he met who was an artist. And he illustrated a picture for my brother's book. And my brother's been trying to contact this guy for almost 30 years. And I was like, really? You've been trying to, and you don't know where he is? I just know his name is Asali, William Asali, and he was spelling it a little bit different, you know, because I end up writing the name down and Googling it. And he said that, you know, he lives in Hawaii, and, you know, he's a really good artist, and he just wanted to give William thanks when he had his book published for the illustration that he did. And so I went online and I found him, and I was able to talk to him online. And my brother's been looking for him for almost 27 years, and they served in the Gulf War together. The guy is an artist right now. He's no longer living in Hawaii. He has a family, beautiful family, and he lives in Texas. And he was in Arizona not too long ago. I live in Arizona. He was in Arizona doing an art show. So I'm glad all that turned out for the good. And you know, I wish my brother success when he does complete his book. And I hope that, you know, when he's able to see his buddy that he served in the war together, you know, where they can hang out just like old times and just talk about things that they've done positive in their lives. Jordyn Woods was asked if she had sex with Tristan. And a lot of you guys who don't know who Jordyn Woods is, she's was a friend of the Kardashians, and she was a young girl who ended up in a precarious situation with one of the Kardashians' boyfriends, and it didn't look quite well, and they fell out. It was a big stink about it, and Jada Pinkett got involved in it and stuff. Well, anyway, Jordyn Woods, she went out and took a lie detector test to prove that she didn't have sex with this man, and it was done at the red table with Jada Pinkett, and she passed a lie detector test with flying colors. Is it getting to the point where we got to go out and take a lie detector test? If I tell you that I didn't do something and you don't believe me, is it really necessary for me to go out and take a lie detector test? My whole thing is, like, if you don't believe me, baby, bye. I'm not taking a lie detector test for you. Now, I can see me taking a lie detector test for something, for example, if someone did something to me in the past and that person is lying about it, and I would have to take a lie detector test, you know, because the judge or somebody wanted to know if it really happened, then I have no problem taking a lie detector test. I would do it. It's not a problem. Do it and be through with it. But just whether you slept with somebody, you know, and none of y'all married, I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyway, she took the lie detector test and she passed. Another story that broke out, Juice WRLD, TMZ broke the story. He suffered a fatal seizure Sunday morning at Chicago's Midway Airport. The federal agents were waiting for him when he got there because his entourage, evidently they had tons of weed and they found guns on board. And at the point of the search, Juice was seen digesting some pills, and it was believed to be Percocets and some other pills. And he suffered a seizure shortly thereafter, and he died shortly thereafter. He was only 21 years old. It's pitiful that he didn't get to live a full adult life, and you know, here he is, a rap singer, you know, probably at the just coming into the field. I didn't even know who he was because I'm not into rap music. I like some rap music, but as far as me buying it, knowing all who these rap singers and stuff are, I didn't know who he was until I seen the story. But what shocked me is the fact that he was only 21 years old and he died, and evidently his music is like soaring to the top now. But anyway, it's a sad situation that he died. Anyway, I'm gonna move right along. Last Sunday, right before church, I turned on my Facebook page, and Rickey Smiley was talking about adults who allow their grown children to live with them. Their grown children who aren't doing anything, aren't contributing anything to the house, won't even take out the trash, are disrespectful, bringing people into their home, and a situation like that is happening with someone that I know. And my whole thing is that, you raised your child is your child is 21, past 21, and they're living in your house and they're coming in, disturbing your house, bringing a lot of negativity into your house. You have to cut the purse strings, and let that child grow up in the street. Let them go live in a homeless shelter. I've worked in a homeless shelter before. I worked for Faith Mission in Columbus, Ohio as a resident assistant supervisor. And the situations, it's not bad. First of all, I worked in a brand new shelter. And then I got promoted to a supervisor and I ended up working in the older shelter. But they have so many services for these men. They get you medical, they get you housing, they get you EBT cards, they get you food assistance. They find you jobs. They find you whatever you need. But you have to work the system properly. You can't come in drunk every night and think just you can live there for 90 days for free and just come in drunk and do whatever you want to, because some men, they do that, I don't know about the women's shelters. I never worked in the women's shelter. I've heard stories, but, if you're down on your luck, living in a shelter, you can get your life together. And if you don't get it together within 90 days, you can move out of that shelter and go to another shelter for 90 days, and then you can turn around and come back to the shelter. And a lot of people take advantage of that also. But the bottom line is, if you got adults living up in your house, your children, you're not obligated to do anything for them just because they're your blood. You're not. I'm not saying kick them all the way to the curb either, and forget about them. But if they're being disrespectful to you and they're cursing, and you come home from work, the dishes are dirty, they haven't cleaned up, they got company in your house, they're smoking reefer and drinking. Yeah, I said reefer, I'm old school. And you know what? And they're not looking for a job, put them out. Either you're retired, it's about time for you to retire, and you're still taking care of this grown, disrespectful child. It's like, misery likes company. You're bringing this on you. You ought to know as an adult that you don't have to put up with that. And you're putting up with it because what? Just because you birthed that person? Like Rickey Smiley said. You got to see the video. All you can hear right now in my office right now, in my home, is some background music that my nephew made me for my videos. His name is Nicholas Robinson. He's on SoundCloud. Thank you, Nicholas. And there's a fan twirling up here. That's all. It's peace and quiet. I'm not going to put up with no friend, no relative. Like Rickey said, even if your mother or father is living in your house and they're causing havoc, they would cause havoc in a nursing home, because that's where they would have to go. I'd go visit them and make sure they're okay and everything. But they're not going to come into my home just because they're my mother and father and think that they can cause havoc. Nobody should have to put up with that. Nobody. The mother, the father, the sister, the brother, aunt, uncle, nobody should put up with your relatives living up in your house. First of all, have you heard about some of these kids? They come home and they shoot their mother and their father because they feel there's something that they can gain from it. They can prosper from the death of their mother or their father or their loved ones. It's ridiculous. It's just really, really bad. And so, if you got a child living up in your house, if you got a parent living up in your house and they're being disrespectful and disrupting your house and your peace, if that's the way you want to live, more power to you. But I'm not going to put up with it, and I suggest you not to have to put up with it. It may sound like a cold thing to hear, but you know, if you like a bunch of hell up in your house, and you go right ahead and you deal with it. But if not, put them up out of your house. This place is where they can go and they can go seek some help. You know, you shouldn't have to be social services up in your house, especially if you don't know how to do it. Okay, there's a way to do everything. Matt Lauer is firing back at a bombshell story about him raping someone. Ex-employee Matt Lauer on the Today Show, evidently he raped Ronan Farrell, and she wrote a book in which she named a woman, oh, excuse me, let me take that back. No, he didn't rape Ronan Farrell, but it's her book, and she named a woman named Brooke Nevils, Neville, and she says Matt raped her in his hotel room during the 2014 Sochi Olympics, and that he raped her in her butt. Yeah, that's what he did. He raped her that way. And he says that he didn't do it. He's firing back saying it was consensual. Even though he was married, he said he had a extramarital affair, and it was consensual, and they did have sex, but he did not rape her. But anyway, I thought Matt Lauer was going to, you know, I thought he was an upstanding guy. I mean, to hear about all these things that he's done, you know, and all the people that he got fired at NBC, and they just kept, you know, doing the good old boys club and letting him get away with so much stuff, you know, it just shows you how dishonest some people can be, and how certain clubs will allow men in power to get away with so much stuff. I got a friend by the name of Darlene Brooks, and she wrote this book, A Mother's Manual. If you guys get a chance, you should really get this book. I did a review on it today, and if you know a person who's pregnant or expecting, it's a perfect book for them. It's not a manual exactly telling you what you should do. It's making suggestions, and she's telling you different things, what she did in order to take care of her children as a single parent. And she did a wonderful job. And she told her kids every day that she loved them. She told them she cared about them. She went to PTA meetings. Her kids are in college. I believe one graduated from Columbia, and she's working or writing. She's writing articles for the New York Times. I think one started school at Harvard. Yeah, one is going to school at Harvard. And I think the oldest son, he's already graduated. But Darlene has done a wonderful job raising her kids under the circumstances and the things that she's been through in her life. And I've been knowing her for a long time. I remember when she wanted to get her book published, and she contacted me, and she was like, you know, Michael, I'm trying to get my book published. Can you recommend, you know, some kind of way that I can get it done? And I told her, and it worked. It worked out for her. And what she don't realize is in the process of her getting her book done, I also got my book done. And she kind of like pumped me up. And I just want to thank her. So I have no problem going on my show promoting her book, A Mother's Manual. See that? I bought 2 of them. And I gave both of them away to mothers that was expecting a child. I'm gonna have to get some more, because I like I think they're perfect gifts to give away, especially at baby shower. But it's not just for a mother; it's also for a father. So you got a lot of single fathers out here raising kids, you know. And it's just one of those books that just shows you, and it makes suggestions on, you know, how to love your child. And she was the kind of a mother who she kept pushing love and education. And if I was a parent, I would definitely, you know, push love, and I would definitely push education, you know. I don't think there's, for the parents that's out there that's doing this right, that's doing this whole mother and father and raising your children right thing, you know, education is definitely something that should be pushed. And, yes, my book, Hey Puddin'. Both of these books can be purchased on Amazon.com. Yeah, and my book is about a whole bunch of things, and one of the things in my book that I want to give you a short story on. When I was growing up, my mother and father went through a divorce, and I was always that son who had my mother's back regardless, and my father did not like it. Every chance he gets, he tells somebody, you know, Michael can always, Michael will always do what his mother said. Barbara got Michael wrapped around her finger. Actually, my mother probably can't get me to do anything, but she don't have me wrapped around her finger. I know when to draw the line when it comes to almost anything. When I've had enough of anything, I know when to say, no, I'm through and I'm done. But it's the hell that my mother went through, you know, there's not too much she can ask for that I won't do. So call me a mama's boy if you want to, but when it comes to Barbara, Robinson-Hokerk, yeah, I pretty much got my mother's back, and she's spoiled just like I'm spoiled, you know. And it's, you know, the same thing goes for me. I'm married, so in my relationship, I can go to my husband and I can say, hey, can I have so? And he never says no. Sometimes that's an issue, you know, and really sometimes he really should say no, but he never says no, and I love that about him, I really do. But I know when to draw the line too, and I know when I'm, you know, doing a little too much. Well, I don't have too much more to say. You know, I really appreciate you guys. I'm glad you stopped by. I wasn't able to put this video out on Friday because Thanksgiving, I was putting up the Christmas tree, and after Thanksgiving, I was putting up the Christmas tree, and I stepped on something and I injured my foot, you know, and it was bothering me for a few days. So I just chilled out. And then I got a friend who's in the hospital, and I'm going to say hello to you, Latrice. I love you. I hope you get well. I went to visit her last night. So I couldn't do it last night either, but I did it today. Something told me that I had to do it today, and I wanted you guys to have this. And I'm going to be doing more. As far as Monique and Flame Monroe, I haven't heard anything. Monique has been quiet. Flame Monroe hasn't responded back to me. I've reached out to both of them. I'm trying to get part 3 of the story. So if I get part 3 of the story, I will let you guys know. But until then, you know, let me leave this with you guys. And I really believe in this. Nothing beats a failure but a try. Somebody went online and they said, you know, Michael, how can you talk about everything and you don't want nobody talking about your stuff? My life is an open book, and I'm working on book number 2, and I'm trying to sell the movie rights. I don't care what you say about me or what you find out about me, as long as you tell it right, okay? And everything that's ever been known about me, I've always told my testimony either in church or the people who know me. So I'm not hiding anything. So if you feel you got something you want to say about me, you go right ahead. And going back to what I said just a second ago, nothing beats a failure but a try. So if that you want to try and do that and that works for you, then you go right ahead. I don't have a problem with you dishing no dirt on me. You know, so more power to you. I love y'all. And for some people, we just say this also. Don't try me, I ain't the one. Love y'all.